So then I saw one of the commentaries said like this: Vayishlach Yisrael is Yad Yamino, 4 lines from the top. Vayoshes al Rosh Ephraim. He stretches out his right hand and puts on Ephraim's head. V'hu Hatzoyer, he's the younger one. V'smolo al Rosh Menashe. Puts the left one on Menashe's head. Sikel es Yodov ki Menashe Abechor. So yesterday we were grappling with that. Well, it seems that the reason he did it is because Ephraim is the younger one, not because Menashe is the older one. But I just want to ask you, imagine the following. The first hand he stretches out is very interesting shot. I forgot who says it. Very interesting. If the first hand you put out is my right hand, okay? Now you come here. You bend down for 1 second. You know, if I do like this, and you're next to me, and I want to get my left hand to your head, how am I going to put my left hand? How am I going to move my left hand? Am I going to put it below my right hand? Bend your head down. Someone come here and say, I want to show you something. I'll stand behind you. No, I won't, because I'm attached. That's good. They put me on a leash. That's good. The truth of the matter is, if you think about it, you wouldn't do it that way. If I put my hand on your head, I want to get to your, yeah, to make it easy for me, guys, yeah. Kneel down, yeah, that's good. Okay. Now, if I do like this, it would be very awkward to do like that. The most natural thing is going to come over the top to get to him. I'm not going to go put my hand, especially if this is short. If you're lower down, sorry, if you're uncomfortable, that's fine. It's for good of the cause. If you're, we don't know who's taller and who's shorter. I'm not going to come up like that. So the most natural thing is that I'm going to come over the top with my left hand. Thank you very much. That was Yonah on Show and Tell. The most natural thing we're going to do, the most natural thing is to put your hand over the top. Now, normally the right one is the one, since the right one is the more prominent one, you'd expect the right one to go on top also. So that's what it means. Sikel es yodo. Yaakov did it with forethought. Why? Because Menashe is the firstborn. In other words, on the one hand, you're not getting the right hand. On the other hand, he put his right hand out first in order to force the left one over on top to Menashe. So because you're the firstborn, you don't lose everything. You don't get the right hand, but you do get the upper hand, right? Which I guess anybody who knows anything about hand brachas, which Yaakov Avinu did, so the same way that there's significance in the right hand over the left hand, there's significance in the one that's on top and the one that's on the bottom. Whatever that significance is, I can't tell you. But Yaakov Avinu, the forethought here, it's a beautiful pshat because the pasuk makes more sense this way. Because Menashe is the firstborn, that's why he put out his right hand first. Instead of putting out his left hand on Menashe, then coming over the top with the right hand and giving Ephraim everything, he dafka did it the other direction because Menashe is the firstborn. Then it answers the question, then the pasuk reads very well. Then the pasuk makes a lot of sense. Okay? So he gives the bracha, and then in pasuk Yud Zayin, pasuk 17, Vayar Yosef ki Yoshis Aviv Yad Yamina al Rosh Ephraim. Pasuk 17, about 9 lines on the top. Yosef sees that his father put his hand. According to some, he was about to put his hand. The order of when this took place, Yosef, whether it's before Yaakov actually gave the bracha, they're just going back to tell us what happened. But Vayar Yosef ki Yoshis Aviv Yad Yamin al Rosh Ephraim. Yosef saw that his father was putting his right hand on Ephraim's head. Vayera be'enov. He did not find it was bad in his eyes. He was not happy with this. Vayitmoch Yad Aviv. He took his father's hand lehasir osa me'al Rosh Ephraim al Rosh Menashe. He wants to take his father's head off of Ephraim and put it back on Menashe, the right hand. So there are a couple of things going on here. First of all, Yosef is thinking that Dad thinks that I didn't do this right. Dad must have thought that when I brought it to him, in other words, it doesn't enter, according to this approach, it doesn't enter Yosef's mind that Yaakov is doing it because he wants to skip over Menashe. According to this approach, Yosef is assuming that Yaakov wants to get to Menashe, who's the firstborn. But that Yaakov must have thought that when Yosef brought him over, Yosef took Menashe in his right hand, in his own right hand, and therefore Menashe is to Yaakov's left. And the reason Yaakov is crossing his hands over is to get to Menashe, who was on the right side of Yosef. That's what Yosef is thinking. Yaakov is thinking that Yosef did. And therefore, Vayera be'enov, Yosef is not happy. Dad, I'm not that short-sighted. That I realize if you're going to give the bracha, I switch them around. Because he's still in the mindset that Yaakov wants to give the bracha to Menashe. So look what Yaakov's response is. Yomer Yosef el aviv lo chein avi. No. Ki zeh bechor. This is the firstborn. Sim yamincha al rosho. Put your right hand on his head. Vayimaynavi, vayomer yadati b'ni yadati. No. I know that you did it the right way. Gam hu yelam v'gam hu yigdal. He's going to be prominent. He's going to be very, very great and very prominent. The ulam achiv hakoton yigdal mimenu. His younger brother is going to be greater than him. Okay, so that means Yaakov is responding to Yosef's concern. He said, no, I know that you did it right. I didn't make a mistake over here. I wasn't assuming that that's Menashe and therefore I crossed over. I was assuming that's Ephraim because Ephraim is going to be the more prominent one. So that's one approach. The other approach is, now go back to Pasuk Yud Zayin again, and this one you should jump. You should get right away. The other approach is Vayar Yosef ki Yoshis aviv yad yamino al rosh Ephraim vayera be'enav. It was bad in his eyes. Why was it bad in his eyes? Yaakov gave Yosef the firstbornship over Reuben, which led to what? Led to all the trouble. The last thing you want to see is no, anything but this. No, have we been through this enough? Not only that, look who's been through it. Dad, you yourself, this is what you were saying, yes. You yourself have been through this. I've been through this. This is the last thing we need. Can't we get away from this already? Can't we get away from this skipping over the firstborn guy? We've both been through this. And to that, Yaakov says to him, Yadati b'ni yadati. I know. He says twice. I know what happened both times. Don't worry, I know what happened. I know what happened with me, and I know what happened with you. And in spite of that, this is what has to happen now. Okay? Now, watch this. Watch what the upshot of it all is. Bottom line, Vayevorchem bayomahu lemor, B'cha yevorech Yisrael, lemor yesimcha Elokim ke Ephraim ke Menashe. When parents give their children a bracha, they say, Hashem should make you like Ephraim and Menashe, V'yosem as Ephraim and Menashe. He puts Ephraim before Menashe. Now, when I say question, and it's strange. You ever been to a Friday night meal? You go to Friday night and somebody gives a bracha. Father gives his children a bracha, 274. Father gives his kids a bracha. Hashem should make you like Ephraim and Menashe. What's the bracha to the girls? Should make you like Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah. Now, we give a bracha, you should be like Ephraim and Menashe. If you didn't know what the bracha is, and you say, okay, the father's going to bless his sons, you should be like whom? Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Moshe, and Aaron, David HaMelech. Got some pretty prominent people in Jewish history. All of a sudden, like you say, the girls are Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah. Okay, that we understand. The boys, Ephraim and Menashe. Two kids, Ephraim and Menashe. Okay, Ephraim were big tzaddikim. Nothing taken away, Chas Shalom, take away anything from Ephraim and Menashe, but they're not on the Ushpizin. They're not, Moshe and Aaron has a certain ring to it. Right, Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov has a certain pattern. Ephraim and Menashe also has a ring, but they're somewhere in the pecking order here. They're not up. They're not all the way at the top. Why is that the bracha that we give the children? Two reasons the commentaries give. Yeah, go ahead. You have children who get along, and what they call sibling rivalry, which there is, it's a very real thing, very real, and there could be sibling rivalry, and there could be jealousy among children. And why did he get? Why is he being given more? And that sort of thing. And we don't find any traces of it by Ephraim and Menashe. That's one of the biggest brachas for parents when kids get along. And of course, there's always going to be some sort of sibling rivalry. There's going to be a certain amount of competition among kids. And Ephraim and Menashe, we never find any sort of backlash on the part of Menashe. That Menashe turns around and says, "Wow, that wasn't. Why did he get it? Why did he go ahead of me?" So that's the first bracha to our children. It's the ultimate bracha to our children. Okay, you could argue the same thing by Moshe and Aaron also. You could argue the same thing by Moshe and Aaron. We also don't find any sort of what. Okay, look, the most basic reason, I think I skipped the most basic reason because this is the bracha that Yaakov gave. The question is, why did Yaakov give this bracha? And at this point, Moshe and Aaron weren't around yet. And it's the bracha that carries over. There's no rivalry, number one. Number two, we had mentioned yesterday the idea that they were the ones raised in Egypt away from the family unit. Yaakov Avinu, they held the whole Jewish community living over there in Bnei Brak. Yaakov and his sons. They had all the offspring. The whole family is together with the Jewish and Torah environment. Ephraim and Menashe are living in the depths of depravity out there in in Egypt, and they rise above all the negative influences of their society. They rise above. That's the bracha parents give their kids in Judaism, that you should rise above everything in the community, everything in the world, all the negative influences, all the things that could pull a person away from being a good, loyal Torah Jew. And the parents give their kids their bracha that is what you should become. You should become somebody who is a successful Torah Jew who rises above all the temptations and all the external influences. That's what the commentators explained. That's why there's special bracha to Ephraim and Menashe. Now just turn back for 1 second. This 272. That's why I'm showing you something very interesting. You see where it says 4 lines from the bottom on 272. Vayomer Yosef el Aviv lochein avi ki zeha bechor. He is the firstborn. All right. Now, what happens in Judaism? What is the right of the firstborn from a halachic point of view? Any of you firstborns? The firstborn gets a double portion. The way you measure the double portion is, let's say there are 4 brothers. If the father dies and there are 4 brothers, you divide the property into 5. And each one gets a portion. The Bukhar gets double of what any of the other brothers got. He doesn't get double for all the brothers. He gets double of what any individual portion is worth. So what's interesting is, look at the word Bechor, look at the word firstborn. Ve'agida lachem, says Rashi, 4 lines from the top. 4 lines from the top, left side, page 274. Ve'agida lachem, says Rashi, bikesh legalos es haketz. He wanted to reveal the end. The nistalka mimenu shchina. The shchina, the divine presence, left him. He started saying other things. So, why? I mean, if Yaakov Avinu has prophecy, he wants to reveal the end of days. I mean, Yaakov Avinu knows what he should or shouldn't be doing. And apparently Yaakov thought, okay, the time is this is the right time to do it, and I'm going to now reveal you the end of days. And then what happens is Yaakov all of a sudden he says it stops. The Shechina leaves him. So it could be the plain understanding here is, well, Hashem says, no, Yaakov, I didn't want this done now, and then Hashem takes away the divine influence, takes away the Hashem's influence, the Shechina that leads to prophecy. That's one approach. The other approach is that there's a very practical explanation. The practical explanation is that Yaakov is starting to reveal how he wants to get to the end of Jewish history, and he starts disclosing how things are going to play out every step and stage of the way. So as Yaakov Avinu starts speaking, so he starts describing either the Holocaust or the Khmelnytsky massacres, the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash. As he describes these things, Yaakov himself becomes saddened. And there's a rule that in order for prophecy to rest on somebody, he's got to be in a state of joy. He's got to be in a state of simcha. If you're not besimcha, you can't get prophecy. So there's a very practical reason why it doesn't work. And I'm in a really good mood when I tell you how we're going on our family vacation. I get the kids together and I say, guys, we're going on a family vacation. And I'm in a really good mood when I start. I said, so what we're going to do is everybody's going to pack their own bags. Oh boy, that's going to work. All right, you're going to pack your own bags, and then we're all going to get into the car, and we're all just going to get along with no fighting. And I'm telling you, Rachel, you better not say anything to your sister. And my mood is changing. We haven't even started driving yet. Right? And I say, and nobody's getting any money. Hey, how much is this costing us? Oh man, I can't believe, And the next thing you know, your mood is ruined. Right? So Yaakov Avinu, as he starts describing this whole how this thing is going to play out, so he's going through the Beis Hamikdash and exile in Babylon. He goes through the whole thing, so his own mood is as soon as he starts hitting the sand, therefore the Shechina leaves him. That's the practical explanation. The plain approach over here is that Yaakov Avinu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want him to reveal. Now watch this. This is really remarkable. It's really remarkable. He says like this: Reuven bechori ata. Reuven, you are my firstborn. Kochi v'reishis oni yeser se'es v'yeser os. How did that? My initial vigor, foremost in rank and in power. Reuven was supposed to get 3 things. Reuven was the firstborn. He's supposed to get 3 things. He's supposed to get the kingship. He's supposed to get the kahuna, and he's supposed to get the firstborn. He's got 3 things. He's the firstborn. He's supposed to get 3 privileges. He's going to be the king. He's going to be the Kohen, and he's going to be the firstborn privileges. But Pachaz kamayim, you were impetuous like water. Al tosar, therefore you are not going to get the extra portion. Because you were impetuous like water. Ki alisa mishkeve avicha, because you got involved with your father's bed. Az chilalti yitzui Allah, you desecrated him who ascended my couch. Meaning, because of that incident where Reuven got involved in Yaakov's personal life and where he puts his bed, you lost the whole thing. You lost the whole package. So, the commentators explain, if you think of something that is the description that somebody is impetuous like water, why is it water? Why is it being compared to water? He's impetuous like water. Number one, why water? Number two, why does it cost you these privileges? Why does it cost you the privileges? You lose the privilege, the primary one obviously being the king. Why is it? Why is it compared to water?
Because water has no shape or kind of no spine, so if he's just going to go with the flow, kind of.
Hey, very good. You're close on two fronts. Number one, there's been much war. They have this big fire in Los Angeles right now, this massive fire. I think one person has died. One person and one firefighter have died in this massive, one of the biggest fires in LA history, in California history. Water has caused far more damage in human history than fire has. Water disasters, you start with the flood, and then you get tsunamis. I mean, we had that tsunami 10 years ago, wiped out 250,000 people, 250,000 people. Talk about one of these little $3,000, $5,000 deals. And 250,000 people were killed in a tsunami. I mean, a water fire, once in a while you have a fire. The big Chicago fire, when they had the big Chicago fire, so it was 100 people, 50 people died, that sort of thing. You're talking about thousands and thousands of people killed by water. When water starts flowing, there is zero control on water. And by the way, every property owner knows. A fire is a property fire is bad. But the more common thing that you get is water damage. There's a leak over here, fire is real bad because there's no damage, there's total destruction. But water is a force that can't be controlled. They can't control water. Control a fire. You get firefighters. When there's flooding, you can't control it. You can just get everybody out of there. Then you could build a dam or something to try to control it when it's calm. But you can't do anything about it when it's out of control. A fire is out of control. You could try fighting the fire. Nobody fights. Let's fight the water in New Orleans. Let's fight the water in Houston. Nobody fights the water. You just get on a roof and hope that something saves your life. No, let's go. The water fighters. There are no water fighters there. So a person who's spontaneous like water means you're totally out of control. You lost control of yourself. Okay? You lost control. That's why you can't be the king. What's a king? A leader. And a leader means that he's in control. Yeah. You can't have a president. You can't have a president who has a bad day, therefore he goes and sets off a nuclear attack. They said the Secret Service guys who used to stay there by the Clintons, they had all sorts of interesting things. And the ones who know the most about what goes on in the White House is these maids who are there for 40 years already. They're there in the White House longer than any president. And every once in a while she threw a lamp at him. Hillary threw a lamp at Bill. These are the people who are running your country. There's a guy, his own wife can't trust him, but we're supposed to trust him. Now, what happens? The guy's having a bad day. He doesn't like his ratings. The guy looks at the ratings. I don't like my ratings. Let's go to war. You got these are the people who are, which by the way has happened. These are the people who got their finger on they got the bomb under their thumb, and these are the guys. You can't have a king is somebody who's in control. A king is which is why it says man malchi rabbanim. The kings, the real kings are Talmidei Chachamim. Because if there's anybody in the world who's in control of himself, it's Talmidei Chachamim. They're the real kings. A king is somebody who is controlled. He's not controlled, number one. Number two, goes to what you're saying about shaping. You see, water that you put into any container, water takes the shape of the container you put it in. Right? That means that the water is being shaped by the container. It's being influenced and shaped. Yeah. Right? A king is not supposed to be shaped by his society. You do the shaping. What that means is if you rule over yourself, if you get upset, or you get sad, or you get angry, or you get whatever it is, that means that you are being shaped by circumstances. My mood is being shaped by circumstances. That means I'm not in control of my mood. That means I'm not a king. I don't rule over myself, which is the hardest person to rule over. I don't rule over myself. A king isn't somebody who should be shaped. The king does the shaping. And therefore, Yaakov is saying to Reuven, gentlemen, you're not being punished. It's not a punishment. If I say to you, I want to be a pilot, I want to fly F-16s, or whatever the next sophisticated, Israel just got this new delivery, what is the 34s or something? I want to be an airline, I want to be a fighter pilot. I just have one problem. My eyesight is not very good. My coordination, my reflexes on computer, consoles to try to anticipate incoming missiles is slow. And in general, I'm a coward and I'm afraid of heights. But I want to be a fighter pilot. And I go to the military and I apply. They say, sorry, you're not, you can't do that. Well, why not? Because you're not qualified. Why are you punishing me? We're not punishing you. You're not qualified. You understand the difference? A punishment is if you're qualified, but you did something disciplinarily wrong, so we're not letting you do it. You're not qualified. You're simply not qualified. Okay, I want to be a trapeze artist. I want to be the guy who catches the guy who's doing the somersault. You know, the guy catches him, he does a somersault, and I catch him. There's only one problem. I don't know how to hang upside down, and I'm afraid of heights again, and I don't know the first thing about trapeze, but I want to do it. Sorry, you can't, right? Why not? Why are you punishing me? I'm not punishing you. You're not qualified. Reuven, you're not qualified to be the leader. You're not qualified. I'm not punishing you. You've shown that you're not qualified. A leader is somebody who has to be totally in control. That's the reason why the first king loses the kingdom. Who was the first king of the Jewish people? Shaul HaMelech. The Gemara says, Shaul be'echad ve'olsa lo. Shaul had one flaw, and it cost him the kingship. David HaMelech had two, and he didn't lose it. The commentator said, well, what does that mean? You did one thing wrong, and you can't be king. You did two things wrong, but you could be king. You know why? Because there was a difference in the quality of what they did. David HaMelech had two flaws on a personal level. On a personal level, okay, I understand. None of us are perfect. Even a king forgets the Ya'alav Yavo once in a while, right? But Shaul HaMelech was given instruction. You were told to wipe out Amalek totally. And when the prophet Shmuel says to him, why didn't you do it? And Shaul says, well, the people wanted us to. The people wanted? What do you mean the people wanted? You're not supposed to be doing what the people want. You're supposed to be telling the people what they should be doing, not being dictated to by the people. And therefore, you lost it. You don't qualify for it. Do you know that there's a statement, an intriguing statement? The Gemara says that in the times of the Mashiach, the generation of the Mashiach, Pnei Hador ke Pnei HaKelev. The face of the generation is going to be like the face of a dog. Did you ever hear that statement? The face of the generation is going to be like the face of the dog. What does that mean? The face, it says, Pnei Hador ke Pnei HaKelev. Pnei literally means the face. The face of the generation is going to be like the face of a dog. So Yisrael Salanter explains, the face of the generation means the leadership of the generation. And the leadership of the generation is going to be like a dog. What does that mean? Yes. Yes, the dogs are obedient. Yes. In what way are they obedient?
To their master.
In what way is the leaders of the generation going to be obedient? Who is Donald Trump obedient to?
Hashem.
Donald Trump's obedient to Hashem? somehow I don't think so. Mesilas Yesharim was never his favorite book. Where are they? You're close though. You're close. You see, take a dog. Any of you had dogs? Had dogs growing up? Never had a dog. You walk a dog on a leash. What happens? The dog's out in front of the owner. Who looks like he's leading? The dog does. He's out on the leash and he's leading you till he gets to a crossroads. Then what does he do? He looks back to see which way, boss. Yisrael Salanter says, in the generation of Mashiach, you're going to have leaders that look like they're leading. Then they got to make a decision. How do they make the decision? They take a poll. They take a poll. Taking a poll is not a leader. Taking a poll means you're looking back. Okay, guys, what do you want me to do? And then you make your decision. That's Pnei Hador ke Pnei HaKelev. You're behaving like a dog. To Trump's credit, you should know, Trump I got nothing on the guy, nothing. I'm not talking on a personal level. He is leading like a leader. He's leading like a leader. That's what a leader does. A leader does, I'm making this. This is my decision, my way or the highway. That's a leader. A guy who can't. When you draw red lines, Obama drew red lines with Syria, and every time they crossed the red line, he just drew another red line. It's like in Israel when they had the Kinneret level, the water level of the Kinneret sank to danger level. The water, the Kinneret, they have this imaginary red line. And when the water level was 10 centimeters above the red line, so they asked the Minister of Agriculture in Israel on a live broadcast, "Sir, what are you going to do if the water level reaches the red line?" He said, "It's not a problem. We will erase the red line and draw it lower." He actually said that. He actually said on a live broadcast. And by the way, if you live in Israel long enough, you just listen to it and you just go, okay. I'll take care of it. We're used to that sort of thing. Shoot, that takes care of that. We'll show them. He said that. Then Trump, the guy comes along. He says, "Listen, this is what we're doing. Do you know that they're punishing the members? They're punishing the countries in the United Nations who did not go along with his, what do you call it? That's a leader. That's a king. I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm not getting to the political end of it. That's a king. The Gemara says a king makes a decision. He will move a mountain to implement his decision. He's not going to go back on it. That's a king. I decided. Why? Because. That's it. And you're going to move them out. Bad decision, good decision. It's a decision. That's the melech. So Reuven loses the positions of prominence, not as a punishment, but as a demonstration. You're not in control of your emotions. You're shaped by circumstances. That's how you respond spontaneously, impetuously. Therefore, you lose it. Okay, John, we're going to stop today.